Hi, you guys. This is part 3 of the experiment. This is not in your lab investigation, and the reason behind it is that we need to have sodium acetate. And to be honest with you, we don't have any, we need anhydrous sodium acetate, and I have sodium acetate in 3 moles of water. So hopefully you're thinking in your mind, well, why don't you just evaporate the water out? And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so if you look at your chemical bottle right here, it is, you can see where it says sodium acetate in 3 moles of water. The formula weight is 136.08. So I'm going to go ahead. I know I want to use about 5 grams of my sodium acetate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and measure out 5 grams. So I'm going to measure out 8 grams because I know some of it's going to get dehydrated out. But before I do that, what I want to do is I'm going to eventually just transfer my test tube over. So I'm going to go ahead and place my test tube onto my scale and get the mass of my test tube. Because when I am going to transfer it over, I'm going to get the difference. So the mass of my test tube alone is 18.2 grams. Now I'm going to go ahead and get a weighing boat, and I'm going to go ahead and zero it out. Oh, there's 2 of them in here. I don't need 2, I only need 1. No wonder why it looks weird. I'm going to zero this out, and then I'm going to go ahead and measure 8 grams of my sodium acetate. At 3.4. If I get any chunky parts in here, I will crush them up in my boat. I'm at 6.9. 8.7. Okay, I put way too much. Okay, there we go. Now I'm at 8.0. I'm not going to return that back into my stock solution because I don't want to contaminate it out. Now that I know this, and I have 8 grams of my substance, my sodium acetate in 3 moles of water, I'm going to go ahead and put that into my test tube. I'm going to fold this over. I'm going to pour it on in. All right. I'm going to use my test tube here because I'm going to heat it up. And I want to make sure and tilt this sideways so I have room to let my water out. Okay, so I'm going to tilt it sideways. I'm going to set this down for right now. If I had a lab partner, I would be asking my lab partner to hold on to it. But fortunately, I'm working by myself, which, that's not a good thing to do. So that's against safety procedures. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on my gas line using my striker. I can control the height of my Bunsen burner. So if I go and twist this and allow more gas to come in, which it gives you a higher flame. If I want to lower the flame, I limit the amount of gas that's coming in. And then I even have this one right here where I can control the amount of oxygen that comes into my Bunsen burner. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. I'm going to go ahead and place my sodium acetate. If you notice, it's kind of like a white grainy powder. And so it doesn't look like there's water in there, but there is. I'm going to go ahead and heat it up to remove the excess water. I'm going to tilt it off to the side. That way it's going to let the water evaporate out. So you want to kind of run it through everywhere. As we start coming through, you're going to notice that you're going to have this liquid production at the bottom, and you're going to see that condensation on the glassware as it starts coming out. And this does take a minute, by the way. I don't know if you can already see it turning into a liquid. I don't know if you can already see the water coming out because it's already starting to turn into that liquid. So I want to evaporate all the water. This does take a minute though. You'll eventually have more of a dry, cakey powder. Well, you can see the water steam coming up from here. See. Hopefully it'll start condensing again back into its solid format. I can still see the evaporation of the water. Told you it was going to be a process. Let's twist around and see if it's all out. I still have some water in here. No, there's still water in here. Keep boiling it. Make sure this test tube is never pointed at you or at anybody else. You notice it just kind of splashed out. That would not have been good if I was facing your partner. Okay. See a little bit of powder coming out. Whenever you see the formation of the powder again, it's coming back out. I'm getting rid of all my excess water. Isn't that cool? So for those of you guys who put it on fast forward, maybe I just caught your interest. You're like, whoa, what just happened? And you're putting it back in. So I've removed all my excess water here, and now I have an anhydrous product here. So I have a little bit of water to take out. Just a tiny bit. Alrighty, looking good, looking good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside, and this will be part when you're actually designing your hand warmer challenge. That's when you will use this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it off to the side, just making sure I have all my excess water out. I'll go ahead and put like a little stopper on top to make sure I don't have any humidity from the atmosphere come into my anhydrous sodium acetate, because I just went ahead and evaporated it all out. And you'll notice that when I first took it out of the package, it was kind of a crystalline structure, and when we have it now, it's more of a kind of like a powder sugar feel to it. It's no longer that crystalline structure anymore because I've removed the excess water in there, which was 3 moles. I see just a little bit of water left. All right, there you go. Is now the anhydrous sodium acetate that I need. I'm going to press pause because we are done with this part. Like I said, this is not part of your lab write-up because we're supposed to have it, but we don't, so we just went ahead and made it. I just wanted you guys to see the process. All right, hopefully you thought that was kind of cool. Bye.